Are you ready? Yeah. Cool. Are you ready? Awesome. Whoa!
G'day, Aussie gamers. This is the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast, the podcast that brings you news, reviews, and video game-themed fun. Get yourselves set. It's time to hand you over to your hosts, Lucas and Aaron, to display a complete disregard for political correctness.
G'day, Cobber! I'm Lucas, also known as LewkOne, and this is episode 110, and this is Thursday, the 27th of January 2016. And also with me is me mate, Azza, also known as Redo. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. You LewkOne, I'm bagging one.
Yeah! Hey, bro, you know, guess what?
What? Sick, bro.
This is a special show. This is our Ocker Day special. Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Yeah, alright, so everyone listening, we're going to inject this week's show with some extra Australiana and chuck in another segment called Gaming in Australia. So I apologise to all our listeners from across the waters. You may get somewhat confused with some of the lingo that is used in this show, but Google is your friend and we'll try and explain as we go. I don't know. I guess Red's probably hard to understand at the best of times because he talks like this normally.
From Tassie, bro.
From Tasmania. It's another country. Right. Anyway, before we get started, here's this week's show in preview. First up, video game discussion. Then video game news. And in the news this week, we've got racist mobile game incites rage, cross-platform Nintendo, Metal Gear Solid Remake, top 10 best-selling games, EA Access on PC, Iron Mike and his surprise appearance. Then we'll do Gaming in Australia, bro! Yeah, mate! And then we'll do What's That Sound for this week. An extra little one that we're throwing in, video game predictions, and Red's Shout. So that's our show for this week, our Australia Day special. So video game discussion. Red, tell us about your very Australian week of video game playing.
Well, between me pies and me fucking VBs, bro.
Lovely.
Smashing up an old 4 and 20 with the cricket on in the background, and that's not a fucking lie.
Oh, you're so Aussie.
I've been partaking in a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. Oh
you
my
have
God.
played a lot of that. I've had that game probably a fair week or two before you, and you're well ahead of me level-wise now.
Yeah, well, I was always so sceptical, as we've all been, and we've kind of not dragged through the mud, but been sceptical for good reason, where there's no true campaign, one-player co-op campaign like your Call of Duties and everything have to offer. So that was kind of really off-putting. That's why I never got on release. I'm like, nah. I played one too many shooters this year. You know, it's just going to be one and the same. But it was at this point, you talked yourself into acquiring it, and then Rep Premier, he acquired it. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I watched a few streams, and I watched a bit of the ranked play being streamed, and that's really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not on that level at all, but just watching it, I'm in awe. Like, these people, they actually know where to run upstairs. Like, you've got parts where you can blow out of the specific parts of the floor. Most of the walls are able to be blown to pieces, but they were running over into the corners of these rooms and just blowing off a few panels of flooring, and you've got all your foundations still there that you've got to try and shoot through, but they're aiming in on specific rooms and hot points in the map, and I'm like, this is just fantastic, you know. So you told me about this app that you could get, that you could put like a shopping list app, and I tried to float it with Prue. Oh, what do I need that for? It's just so I can bloody get you to pick stuff up when you're out and saves you ringing and asking. And she goes, can you put anything on it? And I said, yeah, I'm going to put a video game on it because it works for Luke. And she goes, oh, I'm not bloody doing that. And then as she was leaving the house, I smiled at her and she turned around to me and she goes, I don't even know the name of the game. And I went, it's Rainbow Six. And lo and behold, about an hour later, I was in the process of installing it. And I've not looked back. We've done a few terrorist hunts together. I've dragged you along to quite a few multiplayer games. which is really cool because basically in the beta we just done a lot of terrorist hunt. But,
yeah, that's where I'm at though with that game. That's what I prefer to play. I'm just not that competitive with real life players. That's not how I'm geared.
I'm getting better. I had my best game yesterday. I went 9-1, so that's because it's set up in a. For those out there that don't know, it's set up in a best of 5 round situation. So 1 life per round, whether you're attacking or defending. You'll be defending an area, 2 bomb sites or a hostage, and the attackers have got to make their way in, and vice versa.
But it definitely has its charm with the online multiplayer. As much as it's not really where I shine, I generally die straight away. It does have a lot of tactical, a big tactical approach to the online multiplayer, which is probably a lot more enjoyable than your typical run and gun sort of Call of Duty Battlefield kind of game. So it's a good change. It is a real good market. I like the game. It is really well made.
Yeah, the real exclamation mark on teamwork. It's very evident considering not everyone can go the same operator. You've each got your own specific role or your own strengths and weaknesses, if you will. And if you work well together, then you will taste success. It's not guaranteed, but yeah, definitely very much enjoying that.
Yeah, I mean, look, and that is looking the other way when it comes to the single-player stuff, because I know a lot of people do complain saying, "Oh, there's not much to do. There's 10 situations which are single-player sort of go and do this missions and stuff." But look, that's fair enough. There isn't enough in that way. But as long as if you can pick up the game for $49 like I did, you've got value. That's a decent price for a game with a very small single-player portion. But paying $99 recommended retail for this game, that I think you're paying too much.
Yeah, I got it at the half-yearly sale at Harvey Norman had it. It was actually the only shop in town that had it. And I picked it up for $64, and I don't regret that. And one big tick in the right box, free. All the maps that will come out will be free to everyone.
That's cool.
The season pass, that covers different cosmetics, and you get early access to new operators and everything like that, which is cool. I can handle that. You're never going to be segregated from a team or from anyone in the whole playlist, because everyone's going to have the same playlist with the patches.
Yeah,
that
that's
come out for it.
like Rocket League does that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
Never chucked in a pile with a minority like you are with a Call of Duty or a Battlefield.
Well, that's it. How annoying is it for the person who does, like, say there's a group of 5 people in a team and one person has splurged and bought the season pass. How annoying for them that every time they play with their mates, which they enjoy doing, they can't play any of the DLC maps that they paid for. That's
exactly right.
That's Call of Duty.
That's 99% of the reason why we have Call of Duty, why we have Battlefield, why we have Rainbow Six Siege, is because, yeah, we can enjoy the game as an individual, but we get 99% of our enjoyment out of kicking around with our mates.
That's right. And it makes sense that you should be able to play all of the maps with your mates. So I like how that's not part of Season Pass. That's for everybody.
Absolutely. So, moving on quickly, one thing you'll be able to chime in with that I've seen you've been doing a little bit more this week, Rocket League.
Yep, I have been playing Rocket League, and I've got a newfound love for it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I actually I played it last night in your absence, and played a bit with Roy Boy. Jason Repremy wanted me to play that Tomb Raider game, yeah, Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris. Just a heads up, that's still broken, the servers are garbage. Remember we played it and it was just all laggy and ruined? Yeah, still no good. I actually said to him, yeah, okay, I'll play that with you, but you're playing Rocket League with me first. So I kind of made a deal with him to get him to play that with me, but it wasn't too much of an arm-twisting exercise. So he played that with me, and that was pretty good fun, playing Rocket League last night as well. Especially without you, Red. Not that I enjoy playing games without you or anything, but it gave, like, Jason and Roy Boy a chance to shine. Because you're really good, you're usually like the leader and you're smashing everything, you're always doing all the mad cool goal saves and scoring and all that.
Yeah.
They really shone, like, in your absence, because they were the awesome player, whereas there was me that was a bit of a numpty, you know, just like missing stuff completely. Still scored a couple of knockout goals every now and then, like I do, but yeah, nothing compared to what they'll do, and they're awesome. So that was fun playing with them.
Yeah, and I'm a hog.
No, I wouldn't call you a hog.
Well, I like scoring goals.
Yeah, but that's because you're in the right place at the right time. We're too busy trying to flip from our roof because we're turtling across the ground.
Yeah, I've ticked over 1,500 games on it now, so I've gone up into the expert tier between level 40 and 50 now, so...
Yeah, so I'm only like 200 and something still.
Yeah, push it right. I fucking... Yeah, well, you get Roy Boy on there and we can play for 4 or 5 hours, just like straight.
Yeah.
You know, towards the end of it, you really don't care about the whole Rocket League thing anymore.
Oh, mind you, the angry Scotsman comes out in him, though.
Doesn't it? I love it.
Oh, I feel like I'm going to get detention playing with him sometimes because I suck. I'm like, I'm sorry, Roy Boy, I ruined it.
Don't worry, he'll run into you too. He's notorious for it.
How did you miss that one?
Yes, what'd we do? We done some Dying Light on hard mode the other night with Weeksy.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a lot harder. But, so I had that save file for bloody 6 or 8 months, and thankfully I was only level 5 or 6, so I slotted into there pretty perfectly.
Yes, I've got something to tell you about, well, not that you don't know already, but I tell you for the sake of recording it on the show, about Dying Light. You remember probably a good 12 months, roughly 12 months ago, when Dying Light was new and I loved it and I smashed it, but a certain couple of trophies didn't work. They were bugged out and broken.
Yep.
Well, when I jumped on with Weeksy and just started playing with him, those 2 trophies was the It's Safe Now, I think it's called, the one where you unlock all of the safe zones.
Yep.
We just unlocked a random safe zone and I wasn't even expecting it, but a trophy popped. And I'd lost my shit. I was like, oh my god, it's just popped. How good's this? This is amazing. The game's been fixed. Anyway, so I thought all I need to do now is that homina
Hominas.
yeah. Homini lupus or something, I don't know. The trophy where you've got to rescue Survivor from Rice's men. So I needed to do 4 more instances of that. I managed to do that and the trophy popped. I am now the proud owner of a platinum trophy for Dying Light. Thank God. May the sound effect play now.
You know what? I'm stoked about it too. I'm really happy for you, because you did put so much time and effort into it, and we've done everything. We 100%ed every challenge. Absolutely worked the nuts out of that game.
Yeah.
And I got it.
Yeah, yours worked, but mine didn't. But
and it took a little bit of shine off it because it was upsetting. Like, I was happy to have it, but it was upsetting that you guys couldn't be proud of it as I was at the time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because Weeksy's It's Safe Now or whatever, that trophy didn't work for him either. So he's managed to score himself the platinum after we worked out how to get it done. But it didn't work like that. It's Safe Now. It didn't work in our own games because I've gone through and I did it numerous times with you, actually starting again and playing the game from the start and doing all the safe zones. That didn't work, but that was a while ago, probably before it was fixed. But recently I tried doing a safe zone just through playing the game again, trying to get my feel in again for the following next month. It didn't actually work when I did it in my own game on my own. The trophy popped when I joined Weeksy's game, but it didn't pop for him. It popped for me when we did the safe zone. Then he joined my game and we went and did a safe zone and it popped. And I don't know if it has anything to do with this was in a hard game.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a normal playthrough, it was the hard setting. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but if anybody's having that same problem, join a mate in the hard playthrough, and if your statistics say that you've already done 17, unlocked 17 safe zones, join your mate's game in hard, do one safe zone, and it should pop. That's what happened for us. It doesn't matter which one, because we did random ones, and it worked fine. So
It must be something to do with the stat keeping.
yeah, because we had done all of them. That's every single one, but just
Multiple times.
Yeah, just a random extra one in my mate's game on hard, and it popped. So there you go.
Alright, I'll quickly move on. I had my cousin and his friend over, and we played some Blaze Rush with 3 of us. And I thought I'd completed the game, and I hadn't. There was another 3 levels, plus a boss.
Ooh, extra content.
Yay! And it was fucking hard.
Oh. So what was a boss in a racing game?
Well, you got your missiles and your bloody Gatling guns and everything like that, so you use that against him.
Is he racing or?
No, he's just a big bloody fuck off vehicle, and he floats over the top of you and smashes down in front of you and drives in front of you while shooting stuff back at you, and that's your chance to attack. Then he'll get behind you and he'll shoot stuff at you, and it just keeps going like that. So you got to knock down shields, and then you got to kill him, and it is actually pretty tricksy.
Oh, that's pretty neat then.
Yeah, but got there in the end. I tell you what is neat. Do you remember back in the day I got that Kung Fury Street Rage?
Yeah.
Which was just a left and right combo attacking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got up the other day, and I was looking through the XMB, and the icon had changed, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
So I went in, and so it was just an arcade game. Go in, press X, use left, right. You want to attack left, you use your left button on the D-pad, and vice versa for the right-hand side. Anyway, I went in there, earlier in the week, and there's now 3 new characters and a story mode.
Oh, nice.
With bosses and everything like that, and just added to it. There's actually dialogue now where they actually talk, and it was funny because I signed up for Netflix yesterday, like I was telling you earlier, and I was flicking through everything, just going, oh, there's so much to watch, and I come across the Kung Fury Street Rage movie. So it's a rip on just the whole old 80s.
Yeah, I saw that's on there. Did you watch it?
No, I'm going to watch it tonight.
Okay, yeah, I saw that on there. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, and I looked at the cover, like you bring it up on Netflix and it tells you who's in it and what's it about. Right, it's got the characters.
Yeah.
And all the characters up there are all the characters in the game. It's
nice.
Fantastic. Down to the fact, who's Thor's father? Bloody Odin.
Oh,
Odin's in it.
I was going to say Raiden.
Yeah, and all he does is talk about his pecs.
I would too if I had them.
Yeah, so I loved it. That was awesome. So if you've got Kung Fury, I picked it up for $1.79, and I've played it probably for 20 hours. It's just stupid fun. I've reinstalled Destiny, The Taken King.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
And what'd you do with it? Just look at it.
No, I've done half a raid. I've done probably 24 strikes and a lot of PvP, actually.
Who'd you do the raid with?
No one, just randos.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just have a bit of a shot.
Wait, hang on. There's no matchmaking. How'd you...
Oh, there's a website Jason put me onto. You can just go on and look for it.
That way. Geez, that's keen.
Yeah, I just wanted to... Well, you were out of action, and I kind of hate everyone else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, everyone's assholes, those bastards.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck 'em.
But I come out of it with, after 2 sessions, I come out with 3 extra exotics, plus a 4th one I bought. And yeah, it's now just sitting back on the XMB in case anyone wants to play it, or... Look, it's a solid first-person shooter.
It is. Yeah, good game. It's just it gets boring once you finish all the content.
Yeah, I'm over getting shit kicked around in the Black Ops 3 multiplayer from like 10:30 onwards. You just can't do it like without a team because you're always running into groups of 3 or 4 people, and they're now like master prestige level 100s and stuff like this. It's just been out long enough now that you just get your ass kicked on your own. So I thought, a bit of Destiny PvP, so that was enjoyable. And moving on, I think I've got 2 more to go. Don Bradman cricket.
Oh, the cricket's back out again because it's cricket season, right?
It's fucking cricket season. Yes, it is.
Do you sit there in your... I just have this mental image of you sitting there in your whites with your
Zinc on.
pads on and zinc and shit playing Don Bradman cricket. Does that happen?
Yeah, no box though, because I struggle for a scratch. And those that don't understand what a box is, it's a DP, a dick protector.
I don't think you're worried about your dick. I think it's your 2 veg, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Duh. It's got to be a real good ball to hit me on the dick.
Yeah. I was gonna say you'd probably use a Coke bottle lid, wouldn't you?
No, I turtle head it. It just goes inside to keep warm.
Oh dear, I laugh.
But yeah, I love it. Look, what was it? $2,989 or something? I recall.
$99.95.
Worth every cent. Hey, I've got Roy Boy on there. He wants to find it.
Oh yeah, look, it still isn't a reasonable price though. I'd buy it.
I've seen on a couple of the Tassie Facebook buy and sell pages every now and again for $30, $40. So I'll just pick him up one of those and we'll organise it from there.
Still too expensive. If it's on a like a cracker sale one week for $15, I'll grab it and play it against you.
Yeah, we'll play against each other. Sure, $15 is worth it because you only need to play 3 games. You got your money's worth. And last but not least, and probably after listening to this comes out Sunday, so there should be the review up on our blog, aussiegamersexpress.com, of Assassin's Creed Chronicles the India edition. So,
I've played that. Can I explain what the story is about?
Oh, go for it.
All right. I've got it written down here so I didn't forget because it's quite important the type of story it is. But anyway, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. It's the sequel to the China one and everything like that, side-scrolling game. But the story is based upon a premier silver-top assassin group known as the Caborians. And your main mission is to take on all 7 bosses who have 11 lives. Spoiler alert, at the end of the game the assassins say, "Thank you, come again." You get it? 7 bosses, 11 lives.
Think you'll come again.
7-11. Lovely, beautiful. I just really had to throw that out there because it's Assassin's Creed India. Wouldn't he?
Yeah, with no disrespect, that's the only difference between that and China. The China one was, oh my god, it's got to be somewhere very, very soon. And this one's, I don't mind the cutting.
I've got to say, though, ever since playing, I know it wasn't specifically Indian, but, Far Cry 4, the elephants and the designs on their head was very Indian-inspired. Yeah. The artwork for the Indian levels and design and all that, it is a beautiful game.
Yeah,
so I've got to say that I love all that. Like, that's one thing about India is that their art is like and their color palettes and stuff are fantastic. I love it. It's very pleasing on the eye, the coloring and all that sort of stuff. You know, the traditional dress that the women wear and their art. And like they had on the elephants for the Far Cry 4. I think it's one of the little skins that you could put on the elephants and stuff like that. I love it. Anyway, sorry, you go.
No, that's exactly right. And I've alluded to that in my review, that's probably one of the best features of the game. They retain the cel-shaded style graphic art.
Yeah.
And that does lend itself to the art that you're talking about, and it's got the depiction of the Maharaja, this sort of thing.
The what?
And the Maharaja, what is it?
Maharaja?
Maharaja. Yeah.
The Maharaja, bro. Come on.
Oh, fuck.
Get it right.
But look, I won't go into too much detail because I would like you to get across and check out the review, but I don't have a lot of glowing things to say about it because I enjoyed China 9 months ago. This one come out last week, and the next one, being Russia, is due on the 9th of next month, so not even a month away.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why it took 9 months for this to come out after the last one, after China, and it's a carbon copy, mate. She's copy and pasted the way you level up, the way you do everything, the frequency of unlocks. It's a carbon copy, and that hence I'm not surprised why the next one's due out in 3 weeks, because I reckon it'll just be reskinned. And I think, just to quote my review, it's like releasing multiple versions of Minecraft with different texture packs.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
See, I didn't really play that China one too much, so it didn't really resonate too much with me playing this one.
Yeah, and I think it's rather sad for all those that bought the Unity Season Pass.
Yeah. Well, especially they've had to wait a very long time, and
for the same thing. There's really been nothing to get excited for except for a different setting and a story loosely based on love with a bit of Assassin's Creed lore splashed all over it. You could have been trying to steal back anything, but because it happened to be a piece of Eden, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Oh, well.
Played well. Control scheme worked well. Looked nice. Sounded nice. Still the same game.
Fair enough. Cool. Thanks for that, man.
No worries. So that's about me. What have you been doing, Cobber?
All your one, thanks, mate. All right. So in between eating 4 and 20 meat pies and me cans
Ignoring
of
the cricket?
VB. What'd you say? Ignoring the cricket?
And ignoring the cricket? Oh no.
Oh no, you know what? I know quite a fair bit about what's been going on with the cricket because I talk to you all the time, and you arseholes are commentating it for me the whole time that we're playing video games together. You and Weeksy.
And you're fucking welcome.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks. Yeah, so I've got a list here. Rainbow Six Siege that we talked about, so I've been playing that. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. The Last of Us. Now, Of I've been playing this for a while. This is The Last of Us remastered on the PlayStation 4. I finished that up a couple of weeks ago or a week ago with yourself, playing the campaigns. Did the new game plus on Survivor. Played through the multiplayer trophies as well. Got them all to pop. Got myself another platinum. Yes, you are correct, Red. Just in case you're about to ask the question, is that 2 platinums this week? Yes, it is. That's my second platinum, and let the platinum sound ring out right now. So yes, I managed to get the platinum on that one, playing that a fair bit with your good family member, Pierce. He helped me get that a fair bit. Man, you just mentioned The Last of Us multiplayer, and he's like a dog, like on heat, just like, where is it? Someone's playing The Last of Us. I'm in. Let's go.
Fucker crackhead.
He is. That's his crack. That is Pierce crack. That The Last of Us. Yeah, like I said, uses a hint to that game, and he wants in, which is a good thing because it is very good multiplayer. So yeah, finished that off now. So I now own the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 Last of Us Platinum Trophy. That's how much I love that game. So if anyone was wondering, yes, massive fan of The Last of Us. Dying Light, talked about that already. Got the platinum in that one. Project Cars. Now I picked that one up last week, and it's been sitting on my PlayStation 4 for a while. I haven't really touched it too much until last night. I decided to have a go with Pat Snoogans, and there was an issue. We couldn't join each other for some reason in like an actual race together. So we decided to just do time trials and do it that way. Pat set down a good time using the McLaren, what's it called? Just testing me now because I don't know these types of cars too well. It's like a GT3 McLaren something, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's some fancy car. If you know Project Cars, you probably know the car I'm talking about.
GT3.
What?
GT3, isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
I just Googled it.
Oh, that's the car. I probably got it right. I don't know, but I'm just guessing. Yeah, so that car on Bathurst as the track, and Pat set down a time of about 2 minutes 15 odd. I played it for probably a good 2 hours last night and beat it. I was quite chuffed this afternoon when I messaged Pat saying, I beat your time, Pat. It's up to you now. See if you could beat it again. And he replied straight away going, yeah, did a 2 minute 12 this morning. Ball's in your court, champion. I'm like,
Fuck. That was short-lived.
all right. Yeah, I wasn't really at the top for very long there, was I? So it's a bit of work for me tonight to get down to 212, because I think I got down to 214.6. So a little bit of work for me to do there, but I reckon it's doable. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to those games, so I'll put the effort in. But look, Project Cars, I haven't played it a lot. I just sort of dabbled mostly last night, is the most that I've done with it. But it seems like for a game named Project Cars, there's not very many cars. Like, I know it's probably a bit harsh that I am comparing this to Forza 6, which I think is the undisputed king of the racing genre. So there's not as many cars that's available that I've seen anyway. Maybe they're hidden away somewhere. But anyway, it's a beautifully looking game. It plays really well, and I don't regret buying it at all, especially now that I've got a bit of a rivalry going with Snoogans. So that'll be good fun. All right, next up is Rogue Legacy. Red, last week you told me that you started playing that.
Yep.
So I started playing that.
And
yeah, it's not too bad. See, the thing that turned me off it originally is I thought that every time you died, it was like a fresh start. But it's not.
So die.
It's not. Like you said, like it's like the legacy. That's your heir. That's the next continuation. So the things that you've like unlocked or whatever previously, they carry on. So no, you're not starting from scratch. It's a little bit repetitive still, because you are just doing the same sort of. I think they're progressive. Like, what do they call it? Progressively generated or whatever. Yeah, random generated levels. So, but so you kind of just go through the motions and all that sort of stuff. But it's not bad for like a time waster game. So I played a little bit of that.
Every now and again you get on a really good run and it's rewarding.
Yeah, I unlocked a trophy, so I was obviously doing something right. I don't know what trophy it was.
You can't delete it now.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, not a terrible game. Not like I thought it was originally, where we first thought like, oh, stuff that game. That's a bastard.
Well, that was the benchmark, wasn't it? That was our yardstick for a prick of a game.
Yeah, for stupid indie games that were too hard. Yeah.
But I'm the yardstick for a bogan that don't take no notice, yo.
Yep. Look, I'm the same. I did the same thing. So, but yeah, so I've been playing a bit of Rogue Legacy as well. Good game. Trine 3. Still haven't finished it. Everybody talks about how short a game it is, but I still haven't finished it, and just plugging away, finding all those triangles, and they're not easy to find. Some of them are real right bastards to find. Hidden in fruit in trees. I only just realised that was a thing. I don't know how many of them I've missed throughout my playthrough so far. Those sneaky little collectibles that they just remind me of little Dorito chips. Just like.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me as many questions as you like.
Do you find those triangle things make you rely on the use of the three characters more than just progressing normally through the levels?
Yes. Yeah, they do, because sometimes they're hard to get to.
And that's kind of sad, you know. You're using a collectible to really emphasise the mechanics of the individual character, as opposed to trying to beat each level with each strength and weakness.
But is that sad, or is that making these collectibles more of a gameplay thing rather than a chore?
Yeah, I like how you put a flip on things, but I just thought it'd make for a better level design. Not that I don't think it's lacking at all, but I understand what you mean by they're a bastard to find, and sometimes you got to do a specific thing with Pontius in order to get it, as opposed to the wizard and the rogue and whatnot like that. So yeah, I just thought I thought the collection hunt brought more out of the characters than the actual level design itself.
Do you know what your problem is?
My problem?
Yeah, you know what your problem is?
I've got many, but...
You thought.
I thought, yeah.
Just kidding. Right, you have to excuse me sipping on water. I've got a sore throat. Alright, we'll move on. Oh, that's it. That's it for the games I've played. But also last week I referred to, I don't know what you would call it. I guess a hypothetical question is a good way to put it. But if I was in a coma for the last 10 years, what games would you recommend that I play first? Did you forget about it, Red?
No.
What games?
Assassin's Creed 1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
Open world, up and down. And, you know what I mean? Like, we've had a lot of open world games lately. Well, in the last 10 years. But this used vertical measures a whole lot more. You got to go up and see a whole lot more. The historical fact behind it. And it's quite possibly one of the better Assassin's Creed games.
Assassin's Creed 1, did you say?
Yeah, or 2.
If I woke up from 10 years and you asked me to play Assassin's Creed 1, I'd be very disappointed because I've played that and it was shit. That's probably the worst Assassin's Creed game other than Unity. I didn't like it.
I did back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't like it. See, I didn't like it because I found it, like the gameplay to be very repetitive. Assassin's Creed 2 won me over massively. I almost didn't get to go Assassin's Creed 2. I appreciate you trying, and I would, and if I woke up from the coma and you said play this game, I'd still be, thanks Red, I really appreciate that. And in my head I'd be like, that game sucked, man.
2 more.
Hey?
2 more, you said I could have 3.
Oh, go ahead.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
You know, I still haven't actually played that, so maybe I might like that.
Well, there you go. What the fuck you been doing in a coma for 10 years, ain't you?
The first Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, I've been in the coma.
Put you in the coma.
For the first Assassin's Creed, the first Grand Theft Auto game that I actually played and finished was 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. Yeah, San Andreas, just for all its controversies. Well, you can get it on the PS4 now, I think. Anyway.
One of them, yeah, Vice City, I think it is.
Oh, Vice City.
And 3.
Good. And number 3 was a toss-up, but I picked Uncharted 2.
Okay, yeah, cool. I wouldn't be disappointed with that. That's good. Now I've got a list of games here from 2006 to 2015 that are games that would possibly be on this list. 2006 it would have been Gears of War. 07 Modern Warfare. 08 Fallout 3 because I still haven't played it. So these are recommendations for myself. 09 Arkham Asylum. 10 Mass Effect 2. 11 Portal 2. 12 Diablo 3. 13 The Last of Us. 2014 Far Cry 4. 15 The Phantom Pain. If I had to pick one, there'd be in two. Oh, do you want to guess which one I would pick for myself?
Out of those?
Yeah.
Oh, Gears of War.
Nah, not right. 2010 Mass Effect 2 would be out of those ones. If I had to start somewhere, that would it's sci-fi. That's what I love.
Yeah, true.
It is a brilliant story. The gameplay is fantastic. Throwing those biotic weapons and things like that, awesome. And it's a very long game as well. There's
I've never played any of them.
They're good, man. The first one's very long and can be a grind. That's how I felt when I played it the first time round. When I played it again the second time round on backwards compatible on the Xbox One, I didn't find it too much of a grind. I think maybe I was just very excited to be playing it again, so I liked it. But yeah, Mass Effect 2 is probably the best one out of the series.
He's showing how naive I am, because I didn't really, thinking of that list, I didn't really touch on anything Xbox.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Or PC. Yeah, see, I'm one track, and we're going to rectify that this year, aren't we?
Absolutely, you're going to get yourself an Xbox.
You've just excited me. So Mass Effect 1's backwards compatible on current gen?
It is, yes.
1, 2 and 3?
No, not yet. Only the first one, I believe.
That's worthy, though.
Yeah, so hopefully the others follow suit eventually. It would make sense. If you're going to have one in a series, you better have them all.
Yeah, what's EA? They're going to want the money.
Well, yeah.
Alright, cool.
All right, but that's it. That's it for video game discussion. So let's go into this week's news. Alright, so first up, smartphone game that encourages extreme racism. Have you heard about this? Does this news come across your table?
Yes, it has.
It's pretty bad. It's a game called Survival Island 3 Australia. And it's a game that's recently been removed from the Apple Store due to its racist and violent gameplay. I think it was on the Google Play Store as well. The game apparently requires players to bludgeon Aborigines to death, which has prompted outrage, which is understandable, and has been removed from these stores, raising questions as to how the app that warns players to beware of Aborigines was ever allowed online. Thousands of people have signed a petition calling for the immediate removal of the game from Apple iTunes Store and Google Play, and demanding an apology from the app's developer. How does that happen today, in today's age? It's blatant racism. Like, it's not like a racist overtone or anything like that. It's kill the Aborigines because they're dangerous. Like, they're just native Australians. They're just people. How, like, you know, in America that would be, you know, kill the niggers, or kill the blacks, death to the blacks, and it would be a Ku Klux Klan game or something like that. Like, that's I think that's absolute outrage. I had a look at the game and wow. Sorry, go ahead.
It surprises me. Like, I'm with you. I'm more inclined to see it sneak onto the Google Play before anywhere, because nearly anything can get on there that can be taken off, which it has been. Just to reiterate your point, it's been taken off Google Play as well. But how the fuck did it make it onto Apple? That's what's got me, because they're so stringent and so tight, which is a good thing.
Well, yeah, they are, but look, I don't know. Look, I don't know how their selection process works. Do people play the games? Do they just get an explanation of what the game is for their, like,
sneak it under the radar?
Yeah, like, and have they just not represented it correctly to them? Because surely they don't play every single game. There's probably thousands of games going on the store every day. Probably be something. I reckon it would be, right, the developer has to submit like a questionnaire. Does your game incite violence? Does your game include, you know, racist things? Does your game pick on a minority? It's probably a questionnaire which will go through an early screening process, and I guess the developer can be as sneaky as they like. That's an educated guess. I don't actually know how that process works. I haven't researched it, but that's the only way that I could think that something like that would slip through the cracks.
Either that, or you have uneducated testers.
Yeah, well, there's that too. That's a possibility. So, anyway, that's been removed from the store. I think that was horrible. And I'm not somebody that generally turns their nose up to the odd, you know, racist joke. Being Australian, we do make stupid jokes like that amongst our friends, but when it comes to the public forum, I don't like anything like that. And when it comes to actual decisions, actual thought processes in my head, I don't agree with anything that's slightly racist. And to try and palm off a game onto people that is blatantly racist, and I don't care who it's racist against, because if it's got anything to do with pointing out a minority of people who are part of one race, the human race, then I think it's disgusting. So I'm glad that was taken down. Very, very amazed to see that actually existed.
Yeah, likewise.
Alright, moving on to the next video game news is the Nintendo console is to be cross-platform. Now, let me explain. Firstly, I must clarify that this is only rumour at this stage, but it's interesting rumour. I've got a little bit of a news item here that I've put together to read off. It might not make sense, because I tried my best to make sense of how they came to this conclusion from the information that I found. So bear with me, I'll answer questions after the show. This rumour has been sparked by a person named David Gibson, who is a senior analyst for Macquarie Research Japan. Essentially, this rumour has come to be as a result of an educated guess based upon Nintendo's stock price surging 9.07% after their financial performance rating was also raised. Now, I think, in layman's terms, from what I understand, Nintendo have done something behind the scenes which has caused an influx of cash flow and a great interest to investors. And I think that's all hush-hush. But something's going on that is quite interesting behind the scenes. And this David Gibson guy, I think he's just put two and two together and made a suggestion. The rumour stipulates that the Nintendo NX, which is what they're calling their next console, will be able to interact with smartphones, PCs and the PlayStation 4. That's all that it was alluded to, that it's able to interact with these devices. No word on Xbox, so Microsoft are probably still searching around up their own anuses to see whether or not they can be better than whatever they're thinking about. So I believe that this is something to do with cross-platform multiplayer. So whereas that sort of stuff already does exist, the only example I can think of at the moment is Rocket League with the PlayStation 4 playing in harmony with PC players. I think this is something that would be a great move for Nintendo, and it would essentially cause developers to flock back to the world of Nintendo, which is essentially currently in a state of desertion. There are no massive developers on board making Wii U games. They've all left because the Wii U's just not powerful enough.
Yeah.
The Nintendo NX, though, however, if that is something that may be powerful enough to be classed as a generation ahead of where we're at, that can play
or even
games,
on par.
Yeah, or even just on par with what we currently have. If you could say jump onto a game that a developer has made, like let's just say a popular shooter, but you can play against your mates on the PS4, people on PC. That's what gamers want. Because how disheartening is it when we put up a thing on our Facebook page saying, hey, we're going to have a Call of Duty competition or whatever, and people are like, Xbox? I'm like, oh, nah, man, PlayStation. Imagine if the day came and we're like, okay, we're going to have a competition here and we're going to all play against each other on this game. And if you're on your Xbox and your PlayStation and your Nintendo, you can all play. I think that is a future where the gamer wins, and so does the developer. Maybe not necessarily the
console manufacturer.
The console manufacturer, because people won't necessarily buy their game specifically to play it on their system. But the gamer wins, and the developer wins, because everybody buys the game, not just the people that own the console that it plays on, So I think, and as far as I'm concerned, they're the people I think deserve to win, because the game's going to sell. Then if you want to sell your console, then you're going to have to give me features on the console that the other ones don't have. I'm always going to have all of them anyway. But if you want to sell your console specifically to someone, you have to use a different method rather than just hogging the good games for your console only. So I'm all for that. If that's where Nintendo are heading, I think Nintendo are going to bounce back. I think they're in the right direction. Well, I mean, they're surging stock prices at 9.07% up. I think that's a bit of a sign that whoever's in the know as to what's going on is impressed.
Either that or they went down to Cashies and pawned off Mario.
Oh no! No, not Mario. No, get rid of Luigi first. Poor Luigi.
Oh, where's the love? Also, I reckon, this is just on pure speculation on everything I've just heard from you now, one of the first games, if it is cross-platform, that'll jump on board will be like, not your Activisions and your your EAs, but it'd be more like your Capcoms with your Street Fighters and everything like that.
Yeah, that's a fair call. Yeah, I could see that happening. And that'd be good. You know, playing...
Oh, it breaks the ice, bro.
Yeah, man. Playing that sort of stuff against everyone would be great.
Because obviously there's a lot... I bet you, like, for the sake of an argument, we'll do it. And we'll see what... I'll talk to Ross Mark, because he's a big follower of the page, and see what Call of Duty takes up space-wise on his Xbox as opposed to the PS4. There's got to be so much in-depth with those sorts of AAA games at the moment. It's got to be more than just people saying, no, we don't want to cross-play. That, as you said with the Nintendo X, that's got to, or the NX, that's got to be, it's got to be on par, at least.
Yeah. And we know that it's possible to do. Because
absolutely.
It happens. Like, there's a Final Fantasy game as well that I found in my research that also does the same thing, is cross-platform. So,
Realm Reborn?
Might be.
Yep.
Might be. I didn't really look too much into it because I don't know much about the game, so I didn't want to go
The
there.
other two I can think of would be World of Tanks and that airplane one that we got for free.
Oh, that's War Thunder?
Yeah, that'd be cross-platform because it's a PC sort of setup, like a PC game sort of setup when you log in. So I'd say that'd be cross-platform also.
Possibly, yeah. I actually downloaded World of Tanks on the PlayStation to see how it goes.
I will be getting there.
Yeah, nice.
After this weekend.
Clear some space. Alright, let's move on to my last news piece before we get into Reds, but Metal Gear Solid fan remake. Stop! Don't get carried away. Let me explain. Fans of the Metal Gear Solid PlayStation 1 original are remaking the game and calling it Shadow Moses. Can't speak.
Oh, in Unreal 4?
Yes, you know, they are using the Unreal 4 engine. For those who aren't in the know, the Shadow Moses is the site of a nuclear weapons disposal facility. Just flexing my muscles there, showing that I know stuff about that game because I loved it. Was actually my number one game of all time until I played The Last of Us, so there you go. Shadow Moses is being recreated using Unreal Engine 4, as Red alluded to, which shows the game... you beat me to it. Shows the game looking more beautiful than ever. It looks fantastic. However, a fan-based project like this has been attempted before, and it was shut the fuck down by Konami before it ever grew any legs. So you might hear about this project around the internet and how people are excited, and you might participate in some petitions, blah blah blah. Don't get too excited, because we all know that Konami are assholes. They want what's best for Konami and nobody else. They own Metal Gear Solid, not Hideo Kojima, and will very likely take legal action to get this shut down again. So don't get too excited thinking this is going to happen. It's a very pretty YouTube video at the moment with a bit of a teaser. I would say that's about as far as it's ever going to get, because Konami no doubt know all about this now, and their lawyers are pushing the bridges of their noses, making sure their glasses don't fall off as we speak, typing cease and desist letters to send them across the internet saying, we're going to take your house, your wife, your car, your dog, your cat, your PlayStation, if you don't stop making this shit. Yeah, your firstborn. And we'll turn him into a fucking Konami employee. No! So there you go. That's my take on it. So I'm not going to get too excited for it, as much as it does look like a fantastic game. So that's it. Take it away, Red. Give us your news, buddy.
All right. Well, first off, I've got the top 10 best-selling games of 2015 in America.
Nice.
So, if you ask an American, we're all part of America anyway. Sorry, Rusty. But, so I've got the 10 here listed. I'm going to run them off in a second. Would you like to take a stab at what you think at least 3 of them are?
No.
Come on.
Like from what, all time?
2015
Oh,
release.
from last year. All right. Fallout 4.
Yep.
So they were definitely released last year, or not just how they were
No, they
sold?
weren't. They made the most sold last year, so it's 2014, 2015.
Oh, is like Grand Theft Auto still going?
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 5, yeah.
Yep.
And Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
No.
Oh, no?
No. All right, I'll run through them. I thought you would have at least picked the first one.
Oh, yeah, it's on the spot, man.
I know, right? Fucking
It's normally me putting you on the spot.
So sources have stated this is the top 10 in order of the top 10 selling games in America last year. Black Ops 3.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. So,
Madden 16.
oh, what? America.
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Battlefront. GTA 5. NBA 16. Minecraft, go figure. FIFA 16.
Cool.
MKX. And, funnily enough, Advanced Warfare.
Oh, wow, that's still selling.
Yeah. And do you know how much Americans spent on video games last year?
18 billion.
Oh, fucking close!
What?
Close!
What is it?
13.3.
$1 billion. Oh, yeah, I wasn't that far off.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not when you... Because I would have gone, oh, yeah, you know, a couple $100 million.
Wow. Hell, I thought I was highballing big time too, but wow, that's, yeah, not too far off.
But
I
he
mean,
said-
I meant that. I'm just educated. I research things
He
and
said it was
stuff.
just really, really good.
Yeah.
Yes. But sales of last-gen consoles, so your 360s, your 3s, your PS3s, are down 47% on 2014.
Yeah, people are finally getting into the next generation. This
Why would you
generation.
go buy one now, if you know what I mean? Like, you can pick them up second-hand, which are never going to come up on a stat like this.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? But you wouldn't go out and buy a brand new PS3 or a brand new Xbox 360. I don't understand why. Another $100 you got current gen.
If they bring the super slim PS3 500 gigabyte console down to 150, I'll buy one. I need one.
Yeah. Very cool.
I've still got my original fat one, which coughs and wheezes and clicks and beeps and turns every time I turn the thing on.
Okay, so next up in the news, I'm going to address the self-proclaimed master race.
Ooh.
EA Access is now available on PC in every country, basically, except Australia and New Zealand.
All right. It's called. Is it called Origin Access though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the Origin Access is obviously a boost to try and get Origin numbers up somewhere resembling Steam's. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
But it's a good move. So it's quoted here to say we'll have it soon in Australia and New Zealand, and it's going to cost $7 Australian and the equivalent of $5 American basically at the moment, which is $7 Australian and $7.60 New Zealand. But the 15 games that are available for your $7 a month right now would be Battlefield 3, 4 Hardline, Dragon Age Origins 2 Inquisition, SimCity, Sims, FIFA 15, Plants v Zombies, Need for Speed Rivals, Dead Space 1, 2 and 3, and War of Mine, which is actually not out yet. Oh, it might be out on PC actually.
It's been out for probably the last 12 months on PC, dude.
So that comes out next month on the PS4.
Yeah, that's your only world,
no,
isn't
end of
it?
this month. But that's not bad for $7 a month, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of games. They're not bad games too.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard drive space there though.
I think that's the same price as the Xbox. I think it's $6.95, but I just pay the yearly one, which is $39.95. Much better.
What a subscription! You know, this Origin Access also offers you the 7-day, or not necessarily 7-day, but the games that are released, you get them a few days prior to international release, which is another good incentive. You know, you can get on there, especially for people like us.
The good thing it's free too.
Try and
Like,
bring fresh stuff. Yeah.
you don't have to actually have bought the game to play the games a week early. You get the game in its entirety a week early. A week early. You've got a 10-hour time limit, but you can still play the game. Actually, that'd be interesting for a game like Unravel, which is going to be part of EA Access. If that's not a 10-hour game, am I going to be able to finish that for free?
Essentially.
Whoa.
Is that an EA Access game?
It is.
What? That's
Yep.
alright. Win.
Yeah, so I'll be playing that a little bit early using that, but yeah, that just occurred to me then, because normally it's games like you know, your multiplayer games and your big
Or
games.
your RPGs, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Unravel. I can't imagine that being a 10-hour plus game.
Nah.
We'll see how it goes.
Nah, well, not from what we've seen.
Oh,
Pure
look.
speculation on our behalf, but it's like saying a Little Big Planet being 10 hours as its basic story, which it's not.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know anyway, because I'll definitely play that non-stop, because I'm massively looking forward to playing Unravel. And that little Yarny, man, he's so cute, the little red dude. Nice.
There's nothing wrong with little red dudes.
No, that's right.
That's right.
You talking to your doodle?
Yep. I big patted it.
You patted it on the head. Careful, he's crook, you throw up.
Okay, last but not least, so Iron Mike Tyson, he's going to be a playable character in EA's upcoming
FIFA.
UFC.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to do that bloody biting thing that in UFC 2.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it sounds a little weird that he's been taken out of the boxing ring and been put into the octagon, but it's a real nod to his career in the combative sports. And those that do remember that have played UFC 1 or UFC, EA UFC, will remember pre-order bonus plus you could go on and microtransact it later on. You could be Bruce Lee.
Oh, that'd be cool if you could get EA UFC DLC of Bruce Lee.
For free.
For free. Oh, my chest. Sorry, keep going.
So he's going to have two playable characters. One's going to be Iron Mike Tyson, one's going to be Legacy Mike Tyson. So one he's going to be younger and stronger, and the other one he's probably going to be a bit older and a bit more of a homage to his career. But I don't know. I played against Bruce Lee a whole lot in UFC, and you get the leg kick to the head kick. I reckon everyone's just going to go his rib punch to uppercut combo. It's just it's cool and all, but I don't like it, and I reckon it'll be a pre-order to own sort of thing, you know, pre-order to gain Mike Tyson sort of thing, and I don't believe in those incentives either. Though it is a more decent one than a beta access, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So yeah, that's my bit of news.
Iron Mike. Nice. All right then. Well, that's the end of your news, isn't it?
Yes, main.
All right. Let's go into this week's special segment, Gaming in Australia, for our Australia Day special. All right, so it's a bit of an ad-libbed segment, I guess. This one, Gaming in Australia, there's no real structure to it, but we're just going to have a talk about what goes on in the video game industry in Australia and all different bits and pieces. First up, I've got a table here about the ratings for video games in Australia, which has been, I guess, a point of contention for a while now, because I remember, like in 2000 or prior to 2013. The highest rating we had for our video games was MA 15+.
Yeah.
So a lot of games were being refused classification in Australia, or getting heavily changed up to meet our market and all that. So 2013 we got our R rating, but then games were still getting refused classification, which a lot of people were up in arms saying, oh, well, that's what we got an R18 classification for. Why are they still getting knocked back? I've got the list of what the ratings are. Do you reckon off the top of your head, here's me putting you on the spot again, but I don't expect you to know them. Do you reckon you could tell me all of the ratings that we have in Australia for video games?
Oh, shit. You'd have general.
G?
Yeah. 8+.
What? Sorry?
Is it like Peggy 8 years old and older?
No.
You got 13?
No.
Is that's obviously like America or somewhere?
Yeah, that's overseas. That's how shit our rating system is.
So we've got G.
We've got
M,
G. M. Yep.
MA.
MA. And R. There's more to it than that. See, we're video game people, and I'm not having a go at you because I probably wouldn't have done any better than you had I not had this stuff in front of me. But video game enthusiasts like yourself and myself have no clue about the rating system. How are parents going to have any idea? Anyway, it's pretty much exactly the same as our movie ratings. We've got G, PG, M, MA15+, R18+. We've also got RC. RC we probably would never see because that's refused classification. So they're the games like Postal. What was that game? Hatred. Yeah. So that's what we have. It's pretty much, like I said, it's pretty much exactly the same as our movies, but they're very hard to sort of follow. G is basically anything that anybody can play. PG is sorry, Tetris. Yeah, well, G. Tetris would be G and all that sort of stuff. PG, computer games that cannot be recommended for viewing or playing by a person who is under 15 without the guidance of their parents. PG standing for parental guidance. M, computer games that cannot be recommended for viewing or playing by persons who are under 15. This is how vague this is as to what the thing is. MA15+, and I got this from the government website. MA15+, computer games that depict, express, or otherwise deal with sex, violence, or coarse language in such a manner to be unsuitable for viewing by persons under the age of 15. And R18, computer games that are unsuitable for viewing or playing by a minor. And you refuse classification, computer games that depict, express, or otherwise deal with matters of sex, drug misuse or addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, or revolting or abhorrent phenomena in such a way that they offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults to the extent that they should not be classified, or B, describe or depict in a way that is likely to cause offence to a reasonable adult, a person who is or appears to be a child under 18, whether the person is engaged in sexual activity or not, promote, or and this is C, so or promote, incite, or instruct in matters of crime or violence. So,
excluding sex and minors, which is a taboo everywhere, don't get me wrong, but the rest of what you just said, that's why we fucking play them.
Well, yeah, very cool. But the B is the one that sort of caught me, which it's like they don't even accept the fact that R18+ is a classification. It says describe or depict in a way that is likely to cause offence to a reasonable adult or a person who is or appears to be under 18. But that's why you give it R18. So people under 18 can't play it.
Oh, I don't know if it's that's what they mean or if it's any sort of like violence, drugs, or sex in the associating with someone under 18 in the game.
No. I'll read it again. Describe or depict in a way that is likely to cause offence.
Oh, yeah.
To a reasonable adult.
Fuck the kids.
I think that's what they're trying to get at.
Yeah.
They don't want your fucking kids.
Oh, no. It's giving them an opinion, or it's taking their feelings into consideration with subject that was never meant for them and has been classified appropriately.
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of that I do agree with, but, I mean, I would understand why a game with the such content that Hatred has, why that would be refused classification, but games like Stick of Truth, that got refused classification. However, it was lifted because they changed it.
That was for sexual purposes, wasn't it?
But that was because they had that thing going up its ass or whatever. But it's not realistic, and it's it's not. It was an adult that was getting it done, that was being sort of depicted. Now, I don't stick up for South Park because I'm not a fan, but I'm a fan of being reasonable. I thought that was unreasonable that they had to remove that because it wasn't violence against a child, it wasn't sex against a child, it wasn't racist, it wasn't sexist, it was just disgusting and stupid. And I don't think that's enough to refuse classification personally. Maybe I'm not a reasonable adult or a reasonable person, but I don't know. I thought that was ridiculous. So it also comes down to the people who are applying these rules. The people who are saying that's a reasonable person wouldn't like that. As much as that's the test of reasonability, it's still being applied by one person or a group of people, a small group.
Which is unreasonable.
Which can be classed as unreasonable, that they think that that's unreasonable. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a bit strange. But I've got a list of games here that have been refused classification in Australia, which some of them just downright are amazing. Alien vs Predator was refused classification in 2009, and that was because of the high impact violence. But I mean, that's alien stuff. It's unrealistic. We didn't have R18 back then. That's fair enough. Fallout 3 was refused classification in 2008. Did you know that?
For drug use, yeah.
Yeah, drug use related incentives and rewards. I think that's why morphine was changed to Med-X.
Yeah. And you had the buff out and shit like that. They had different names for the stimulants.
Yeah, so they're the sort of things that had to get changed.
But it incited it as well. It encouraged you to use drugs, mind-altering substances in order to perform better.
Yeah, but that's why they've obviously changed the names of those drugs. Grand Theft Auto 3, obviously, because...
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, sexual violence and prostitutes. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 4. There's a bit of a pattern there.
Grand Theft Auto Target.
Yeah. The infamous one, Mortal Kombat. As it was known, was the Mortal Kombat 9 Complete Edition. That was refused because it was too gory. That was later reclassified as R18 Plus in 2013. One of the first games to be released under the banner. A few more games, but that's it. What about this one? This one here, Sexy Poker.
Yeah, I've got a few more if you want me to chuck some in.
Yeah, but this poker one was refused classification. They changed out. I think they just removed the nudity. I think that was what the issue was.
Yeah, it was strip poker.
And it got an M rating, so that would have been a shit game afterwards. Everything that would have made that a decent game was probably removed.
Yeah.
And it ruined it. I would have just said, don't worry about it, forget about it. But yeah, give us what you got, man.
I got Left 4 Dead 2.
Yep.
Originally banned due to the gory violence. The Punisher. I don't know if you've ever played that. I played it in spatterings. So these games I'm saying now were re-released, obviously.
Yep.
All your Grand Theft Autos. House of the Dead. The Overkill Extended Cut.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got on the Wii. Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah, that was... give me some sugar, baby.
Yeah, sex and violence, and they had the pole dances and stuff, which turned the aliens, and they turned them back.
I think if you gave the chicks on the poles...
Yeah, you get tits out.
Yeah, you gave them like a couple of dollars or whatever, yeah, the boobies had come out.
Oh, yeah. Fear 2.
Oh, yep, I haven't played that. I played Fear 3. That was good.
Yep. The Witcher 3. Sex.
Oh, yeah.
A couple that I played, because a few of the games come out and then they got taken off the shelves. Manhunt.
Yeah, I heard about that one. Like I played it a little bit, but it's a bit too old school and hard to play now, but it was pretty violent.
That was fucked up, man. We hired it from our local video store over in Wynyard, Pearl and I. And then it got taken off the shelf, and you ring it up and he goes, oh, I need it back, got to send it back, rah. Oh, shit, we lost it. So we still got Manhunt.
Nice.
And we went on eBay, bought Manhunt 2, but you couldn't get an Australian version, so it was British.
Yeah.
Another one that was taken off the shelves and then bought back, but I got it with my original PS2, The Getaway.
Oh, was that banned?
Yeah, originally released uncut, and it was later banned due to the scenes of high-impact torture, and a censored version admitting this scene was later released at MA 15+. 50 Cent Bulletproof was, BMX XXX.
Oh yeah, nudity.
Yeah. Hotline Miami 2.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a recent one.
Yep. Leisure Shoot Larry, Magna Cum Laude edition.
Yeah, Magna Cum Laude, I think it's pronounced.
Yeah, there you go. State of Decay.
Oh, was it? That's a great game.
Drug use incentives and rewards.
That's right. Yep, I remember that. I think they did the same thing, changed the drug names.
Yep, and Silent Hill Homecoming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just to name a few more.
There you go. So yeah, that's the shitty end of the stick that we get here in this country. We do get, some really, I think, bad calls on some of them. Some of them I agree with, but I think a lot of them are bad calls.
Just the wrong people in the decision-making chairs.
Yeah, I think that it should be a panel of
Reds.
a panel of like a jury.
Yeah.
They should just. I mean, and obviously they can't do it for every single game that they're reviewing. They can't get a new set of people, but send out things and say, "Oh, do you want to do this for 6 months?" Give people a job or whatever. Just get it to rando people. Have people of all walks of life. Different ages, different categories of people, I guess, and
age, race, and professions.
Absolutely, yeah, from all different areas. I think that'd be a good idea, but probably unrealistic and probably will never happen because it's just a stupid idea that I've come up with on episode 110 of a video game podcast. But whatever. Right, I've got another little piece of news here. Moving on from the ratings, just an Australian thing that I wanted to mention here. It was a few years ago actually. There was a 20-year-old Australian man named Chris Staniforth. I don't know if you heard about it. I don't remember hearing about it, but he died while playing his Xbox 360. He was what? He died during a 12-hour gaming binge. 12 hours isn't really that long, is it? I did a 12-hour gaming thing. I didn't die, thank fuck.
Soft cock.
Well, anyway, at the time of his death, the cause of death was unknown, but a subsequent autopsy found that Staniforth had died of boredom.
Yeah, well, he was playing Xbox 360.
That's a lie. He didn't die of boredom. You can't die of boredom, Red. That was a joke. No, but some dude died. There's quite a few people dying. This is the first. I just googled it because I googled video game related deaths in Australia, and this is the only one that I could find. Because you hear in Korea or China or whatever, they're in the internet cafes playing their games and they're found dead and all that sort of stuff, and the dead skin on the keyboard that we talked about frying up on that episode. Do you remember that?
Yes. You'd have to think it'd be something like the epilepsy style brain. Something's just reacted and he's just passed away. That's enough. It's seizure-like death. I
mean, sitting still for that long's never a good idea, but
I do it daily.
If you're healthy enough and you take, I guess, regular breaks and get up, walk around, you're going to have to do that to go to the toilet anyway. You can do these things the right way, but if you're just a bit of a sloth that just plays this stuff like that every day and doesn't move, I know, Red, you probably give yourself a bad rap, but you've got kids that you're looking after, so you're getting up and doing your movements. It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that bloke died. Anyway, I've also got here a list of average internet speeds from around the world, and I want to point out Australia's positioning in this one, because this is what makes and breaks video games in Australia. A lot of the time we have issues with server connections, ping connections and stuff like that. I'm going to read out the list. I'm not going to go through all of their average speed connections. I'll go through a couple. The top average speed in the world is South Korea, which is 20.5 megabits a second. Okay, so that's not their fastest. That's their average. So that's a pretty decent average considering
per connection. Yeah,
that's right, because there's a lot of South Koreans out there. So I'm going to read through all these countries until we get to Australia. South Korea, obviously number 1. Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Netherlands, Japan, Finland, Czech Republic, Denmark, Romania, United Kingdom, Belgium, United States, Singapore, Ireland, Canada, Germany, Austria, not Australia, Israel, Slovakia. Who's Slovakia now?
Yeah, who puts the slow in Slovakia?
Hungary, Poland, Portugal, Spain, Russia, Taiwan, New Zealand, France, Thailand, Australia. We are 31st in the world. Our average connection speed is 7.8 megabits a second. I get an average of 5.7 megabits a second in Western Sydney. I'm about an hour west of Sydney, so the main hub of the country, and I am underneath the average, and the average is 7.8, and we're 31st in the world.
I get 7.8.
Yeah, well, that's it. You're the average. I don't. I would be happy if I got 7.8, but I don't get that. I get 5.
27.8 next month. Upload.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for my NBN connection, which is the National Broadband Network, but who knows when that's going to happen. But that's pretty piss poor for Australia, man. Like, we're a first world country.
Oh, you're telling me, man. We've had this discussion many a time.
It's just been put off and put off and put off. All of the upgrades to the phone lines and all that sort of stuff. It's just been put off too long. And, you know, I'm looking at NBN, which is just around the corner for me. The promised active date is 1st of May 2016. And who knows if it's going to happen by then, but it's 2016, man. I reckon this should have happened probably 5 years ago.
Do you know what would have made that you just pointed out being 31st in the world even more damning for
that?
Australians? It's if, like, fuck the research and sort of thing, you can't be really bothered. But if you were to go through, just a hypothesis, the average price per internet connection throughout the world, I bet you we're fucking right up there paying the most.
Yeah, possibly. But you know what? One thing that I do hear a lot listening to American podcasts and speaking to Americans, a lot of them have like caps, like you know, they might have like a 500 gigabyte cap or whatever, where then it slows down. I don't think a lot of their market have unlimited plans, where we have unlimited plans.
Yeah, fair call.
That's just from my experience. I don't know if that's an average thing or whatever, but, and, you know, we've got Telstra that everybody hates. Man, they've got a lot of companies in America that everybody hates. And what it sounds like is that they've got massive monopolies over there. Comcast, have you heard of that?
Yeah.
If you're ever looking at Reddit, daily you'll find people whinging about Comcast. There'll be memes and stuff about if you ever want to get rid of what was it, like I guess like housing commission or whatever you want to call it here, but just make everybody have to go and claim it through Comcast.
Get them off welfare.
Yeah, get them off welfare. Just everyone has to call up Comcast customer assistance, and everyone will eventually give up and go and get a job. Fuck it, I'll go get a job. Stuff like that. So yeah, they've got some really big bad companies in there, so we're not too bad there. But yeah, we do have shitty internet connections. Let's see who's last. Do you know who's last? Have a guess. There's only a billion countries in the world to pick from.
Antarctica.
No, is that? No, I don't even think they're on this list. No, it's Venezuela at average 1.5 megabit.
Venezuela? What, Ethiopia get a faster internet speed than Venezuela?
Oh, I don't think they're on here either. I don't think they've got the internet.
Still trying to invent the rice bubble.
Oh, you meanie. So, no, not going there. All right, what else have you got to throw in for our Australian segment?
Well, I took a little bit of initiative and touched myself.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Firstly, Australia's biggest game developed in Australia by an Australian company. Do you know what it is?
That would be... Oh, that... Well, I do know what it is, but I can't think of the name.
Poor.
Huh?
That's very poor of you.
Poor.
Poor. LA.
LA Noire, that's it, yes.
Ah, poor.
Yes, I was going to say that Rockstar game. But yes,
Yeah, they what they do? Rockstar published it.
yeah, and it was Team Bondi, was it?
Yeah, based in Sydney, Australia. Yeah,
Yeah.
biggest game.
Yep.
And I thought there was some facts here, but maybe there isn't. No. Oh, yep, there is. Over 5 million sales, making it the biggest Australian game made yet.
Yep, I knew that.
Despite that, they wound up in the October of 2011.
Yeah, I know. It was a bit of a shame.
2K followed. We haven't got much left in the auxiliary.
No, we're sort of just banking on indie developers now because, yeah, 2K's gone
And mobile gaming developers.
yeah, it's pretty sad. I'd like it if there were still some big ones going on in Australia, but I don't know, it's just the way it is, I guess. It's probably cheaper to do stuff overseas.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got faster internet.
Yeah, that too. And our government doesn't really assist game development much, what I've heard anyway.
They did, and then they took the money away, and then they
Yep.
refunded it, and then they've taken it away. Oh, well. Anyway, so I've just done one list. It's Australian personalities within games, and there's a common denominator amongst them all, basically, is they're all sports people.
Mm-hmm.
So basically we've got Tim Cahill, he featured on the cover of the FIFA 15 in the Australian release, and also in there we've got the Australian Women's and the A-League. We had Mark Hunt in the UFC, EA's UFC 1, he will be in 2 also. We had Paddy Mills and Andrew Bogart in NBA 2K and EA NBA Live.
Yep.
Shane Warne had his own cricket game in
Sure
99.
did. 99, that's it.
Donald Bradman cricket, although unlicensed. Don Bradman is a licensed character in the game, and you can also go on and get community-created content. But yeah, not even Australia had licensed team names and sportsmen in the game. We had AFL Live 1 and 2.
Yep.
Mark Webber featured in the Formula 1.
Oh yeah, nice.
Greg Norman and Adam Scott in the Tiger Woods and the Microsoft Golf games.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Mundine featured in Fight Night Round 3.
Oh, I'll cut that out of the show. Don't worry about that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, my personal favourite.
I'm only joking. He's all right.
We've got the NRL games.
Yeah. Yep.
Australia featured prominently in rugby union games. And last but not least, V8 Supercars 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, race driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's been a lot of Australia represented in video games over the years. It's just dying down a bit, which is a bit of a shame, I think.
Absolutely.
Keep it going. Like, they stopped those V8 supercar games. That was a shame. I mean,
Absolutely.
we've still got the Bathurst racetracks in Forza and Project Cars.
Yeah, there's nothing better than lining up with all the colours of the
all the
full grid of
touring
V8
cars.
Supercars.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Even though these days it's not really V8 supercars anymore. It's not the Ford versus Holden. It's all like Mercedes and Renault and
Oh, wow.
Nissan and Volvo. Yeah, so I don't think Renault's in there. I think Nissan I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Yeah, but there you go. It's that's pretty cool. Good history of video games in Australia. Though. I'm so disappointed at myself that I haven't finished LA Noire yet.
Yeah, it's a decent game. It's different. Because
It is.
you've got to recognise the facial cues and call bullshit on the witnesses and everything. That's what really drew me to it.
Yeah, it was hard to do though.
And it had some big actors in it as well, actually.
It did. Yeah, a lot of familiar faces, and probably I've never seen facial recognition better than in that game.
That was quite spot on, eh?
Yeah, they did a different technique to it, but I don't know how they. I don't know why no one's actually picked it up and run with it. It's actually pretty cool. All right, anything else?
Nah, that's my Australia Day contribution.
Lovely.
Cobber.
Yeah, mate. Right, right. Just no one punches, all right. Gaming in Australia is not about
I
that
hate that shit.
stupid shit. Nobody died in the making of this podcast. All right, let's move on to, what do we got? What's that sound?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Okay, so last week we had... Oh, do you remember what it was? You Googled it, you cheat.
Yeah, it was the soundboard test.
Yeah, what it was, a few people sort of, worked out that it was from certain games, but never really got exactly what it was. So what it is, hang on, let me just bring it up here. I'll just play it.
HMI Module Alpha Humana on approach to Space Station Mercury.
Now, where people weren't wrong with the games that they chose that it was part of, what they didn't get is it actually wasn't from the game itself. What that was from is in the game setup. So, back in the day, when the Sound Blaster Pro 2 was the shit.
And it was.
Well, that's it, yeah. It was full stereo and everything. That's why with that thing playing back, you can specifically hear it start in the left ear and move across to the right, because it was a stereo test sound. That's what that was. When you went into the sound settings in DOS, you would set up your, I think it was like COM port 220 and something else 130 or something like that. If you had it all set up correctly, so if you had an engineering degree, you press test, that sound would play. HMI Module Alpha Humana on approach to Space Station Mercury. I remember that to a T from my youth, and that was last week's What's That Sound? And nobody got it exactly what it was. Am I correct in saying that? Did nobody?
No one got that it was a sound test, no.
The sound test, no, that's right.
Bloody Rusky had, what was it, Terminator Future Shock.
Yeah, which I don't know, but it may have been in that game as well, but it was in a lot of games. It was the general tester sound, so there you go. Alright, so without further ado, let's get this week's What's That Sound? Ooh. You hear that, Red?
Yes.
And do you know what it is?
I've heard it, I know it.
Well, I reckon you have. I believe you. You are a very honest person most of the time. Have another listen.
Oh, get fucked.
Come on, cobber, you can get it.
It's just...
You know what I should have done is got an Australian game for this week. That would have been smart, but I didn't think of that. I don't think this is an Australian game, but whatever.
Oh, one more time.
Okay.
Please. Nah, it's fucking got me, I've heard it plenty of times. That's
Oh, you poor thing. All right, anyone listening at home, if you think you know what this week's sound is, then send us a message to our Facebook page, and in that message you're going to write something like this, and Red's going to get really upset. Hello, I believe that this week's What's That Sound, from episode 110, is from that fantastic game.
Oh, fuck off. It is too.
Do you want it one more time now that you know what it is?
Yeah, go on.
I knew you'd get the shits, because everyone's played that game.
It was the first app nearly anyone ever installed on their iPhone 2, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a big hint if it doesn't get bleeped out, but yeah. Fucking oath.
My boss was playing it at work one day, and he doesn't play games. He's like, and he doesn't even do anything with mobile phones. He's got absolutely no idea. When the iPhone 4 was out, he went and signed up for a contract with an iPhone 3. That's how just detached from, technology he was. And he had that game, and he was playing it. I'm like, what are you playing? And he goes, have a look at this. And I played it. I'm like, oh, my God. I've given away that it's a phone game, I guess. But I guess that's a bit of a free hint for Australia Day for everyone that it's a mobile phone game. Everyone should get it. It's easy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's how I got hooked on it. But yeah, that's that. What's that sound for this week? Well done, Red, for not getting it, you douchebag. But anyway, without further ado, mate, let's head on down to the pub because it's your shout, Red.
All right, just quickly, shortly, and sweetly, just for general contribution, and I stole the first three names from a certain somebody's Facebook post, but they do deserve the mention. Kevin Wyborn, Daniel Ray, and Matt Turvey. Thanks, guys. Much love. I do appreciate the constant effort, because it does take constant effort in order to make that table, that list of the top three contributions for the week, so we do appreciate it. Jared Peatley. It was fun. He made a comment on the page the other day about if it required no jumping, It's because he responded to one of my Facebook posts, and we jumped on and we spent some time Destiny together, so it was fun playing with someone new, and he was a cool dude, a bit of a to and from, so happy Australia Day, mate.
So who was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Jared Peatley.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a new name.
And you and Weeksy on your platinums, that deserves a shout, because a platinum's never an easy thing. It really isn't, especially for something like The Last of Us. But shit, everyone's got the one for Dying Light, you know.
Thank you very much for the backhanded compliment there. Appreciate it. How many platinums you got?
I'm gonna tell you.
12?
Yes.
12, yeah. Well, I'm one away from 20. I'm excited.
Do you reckon I can make 20 this year?
Oh, nah.
Nah, I play too many games for too long, don't I?
Yeah, I don't think you would.
15.
15. Yeah, you could get to 15 if you wanted to.
I could get to 15 in a week if I wanted to. It's just I choose not to play shit games. Well, not shit games that you have to play for a second time. Make them shit, like Battlefield. I could knock that off in a day, but fuck you very
Haven't you got
much.
the Battlefield one yet?
Hardline. No.
Oh, Hardline. Sorry, you got Battlefield 4, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm one playthrough on Hardline away.
Oh, okay.
Platinum.
I still haven't even played the campaign in Hardline yet. I bought it for the multiplayer. That's the first time I bought a game like that only for the multiplayer. Good multiplayer, though.
And Rainbow Six.
Well, yeah. Well, that's it.
Didn't get much of a choice.
Alright, now I've left this one to end. Video game predictions. It's a new segment that we're going to put into play. And we're not going to have it every week, but it's just going to be something we're going to do every now and then if you want to discuss something. Now, what we're going to do this week is, spoiler alert, I am going to tell you the ending of Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Now, the game doesn't come out until, April this year?
Can't wait.
And we're going to spoil the ending right now. Now, you might think, please don't do that. That's a horrible thing that you could do. I must reiterate, I need to explain, I haven't played the game. I have no idea what the ending is.
Crystal balls.
I'm rubbing my crystal testicles. And I'm going to explain what I believe from everything that I've heard, all the talk. It's an educated guess. So I'm not really spoiling anything because I don't know, but this is just what I think it's going to be. Saved it to the end of the show. If you don't want to hear my speculation, you can turn it off now. But what I reckon's going to happen is that there's going to be one last deal. Obviously, we know that from the trailers that, there's one last score. There's one last thing that Nathan Drake is going to be absolutely fanatical about, obsessed with. He's going to get the gang together. They're going to go out. He meets his brother. So his brother turns up. Didn't even know he had a brother. They're going to work together. And somewhere along the line, this is where I reckon that is going to be the end, because you know how the developers and all that are talking about how this is going to be the end.
End the legacy, yeah.
It's going to be an end. Now, it's very easy to suggest that Nathan Drake is going to die. I don't believe that Nathan Drake will die, because I think that would be a horrible end for such a fitting, well-known, iconic character for the company. I don't think they'll kill him off because I think that will anger people. I think Nathan Drake is going to be wounded to a point where it's going to be very difficult for him to continue in sequels. Now, that doesn't mean that prequels won't happen, but I'm going to be specific here. I believe that there is going to be some sort of incident, some sort of accident involving his brother, which leads to his left leg being cut off. That's what I'm getting from my crystal ball. What do you think about that, Red?
I'll have what he's having.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly, buddy. How the fuck did you come up with that? That's why I want the drugs you're on.
Well, because I've read interviews with what's his name? Neil Druckmann.
Yeah.
And his words were, obviously I can't tell you too much, blah blah blah, but I can tell you that after Uncharted 4, it's going to be very hard for us to continue with a sequel to Uncharted 4. It just makes me think that Nathan Drake is no longer going to be able to walk.
Effecto.
He's going to be left in a wheelchair, and I think specifically because his left leg gets cut off, but maybe it might be a spinal injury. But I think a spinal injury they can come back from, you know what I mean? Because they can say, oh, look, there's a miracle, or he's had an operation.
And you don't want the closing scene for him to basically be a vegetable.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's a leg amputated. Frankly, the left leg thing is a guess. That's
just so I go back and go, man, fucking told ya!
Yeah, that's just in case that it does happen, so then I come back and say, yeah, I told you so. But yeah, I'm thinking because he's going to be in a wheelchair, you can't really climb up walls and shit in a wheelchair. And I think that would be the one way to say, oh, it's going to be pretty hard for us to come back with Drake after what happens because he's in a wheelchair, because he's a cripple. I think that's what's going to happen.
Either that or he hooks up with Ellie and Joel sorts him out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to deal with Joel. He's a brutal motherfucker.
That's right. You would be fucking tomb hunting unless it was your own.
But considering the timelines, if they ever manage to meet, Ellie would be like 40 to... I don't remember exactly the timelines, but he'd be like... Let's just say, for argument's sake, Drake would be like 70 years older. So I don't think he's going to be allowed to hook up with Ellie. But yeah, that's what I reckon. I reckon he's going to get a limb cut off. It's going to be his left leg, and he's no longer going to be able to continue on in the series because of that reason. And maybe they might do side stories, they might do prequels or whatever, but Nathan Drake's career will be over because of a horrendous disfigurement to his body. That's what I'm putting down there. That's what I'm laying down, and that's what I want this segment to be about. If either of us have any predictions that we want to lay down and see if they come true before a game comes out, or a release date, or a game that might be being developed or something like that, that's what we're going to do. But like I said, it's not going to be every week. It's just going to be every now and then if we've got something on our minds like that. Do you want to have a go, Red?
No, but I want to ask you a question about...
Sure.
Your opinion, sorry, I should say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you happy to let go of Uncharted 4 if they end it nicely?
Yes.
You're happy to let go of the Uncharted series? You wouldn't really scope out a prequel and get all giggity about a prequel, surely not?
Oh, look, if they went and made like another game series in the world, yeah, I'd be happy for it and I'd absolutely play it. But I'm a big fan of anything story related or character related having an end.
Yeah. So you'd play a prequel if you were Sully, young Sully.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Look, I wouldn't mind if it was Drake as a kid. You know, that's cool. But a Sully one would work though, because he's quite old now. So in his early days as a thief or whatever would be great. But it's like Mass Effect. I'm very happy that Mass Effect had a definitive ending. You know, that ended. That was great. Now they're going to keep making Mass Effect, but they're not going to have Commander Shepard. He's gone. He's finished. He's done. I'm a big fan of ending stuff like that. I don't like shit that drags on forever just because it's popular. You know what I mean?
Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah, there's that. But I don't like it when things live long enough to then have a sour taste. Leave while you're at a high. You know, quit while you're ahead. That's what I'm a big fan of, and that's why I do not want a sequel to The Last of Us. The only thing that they could possibly do for me as a fan, I mean, they may impress me. Who knows? It is Naughty Dog. They are pretty impressive. But there's a chance that they may ruin it. You know, Uncharted...
Yeah, or not so much ruin it, just tarnish it.
Yeah, where it's not as perfect as where I hold it at the moment. Whereas Uncharted's been a very good series from 1, 2, and 3, and 4 doesn't look any different. Looks fantastic, but I'm very happy for that to be an end. I'm very happy for it to be the end.
Yeah, good. That's what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Anything else, Red, before we finish up?
No, mate, that's about me. Happy Australia Day, safe barbecues and bottles of beer and everything. Just, no, as you touched on earlier, I think it's absolutely disgraceful at the moment, the coward punch or the one-hit punch that's going on at the moment. Yeah. Fucking please refrain. It's just bullshit. Yeah, enjoy your Australia Day. If you don't think you can control yourself, or one of your mates can't control yourself, maybe play a video game. Have a barbecue at home. Have your beers at home. Keep it away from other people. Make sure everybody is safe, including yourself and all your mates. At the end of the day, have a great barbecue. Barbecues are so good. The weather's, I think, forecast to be brilliant. You know, have a good time. Have a good Australia Day. Sink your beers. Sink your snags. You know, sanger rolls and all that sort of stuff. Oh, just have a good time and be safe. That's the main thing. That's what we all want here for you guys. So, all good. That's happy Australia Day to you, mate. Yeah, happy Australia Day, Red. Thank you very much. Happy Australia Day to everybody. I've been LewkOne. I've been Red.
This week's show has sadly come to an end. Be sure to search for Aussie Gamers Express on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, iTunes, and just about every other social network known to man. If you have any snail mail you want to send us, shoot it over to P.O. Box 130, Cranebrook 2749. Catch you all next time on the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.